The submarine USS Bowfin launches at Portsmouth Naval Shipyard on December 7, 1942, exactly 1 year after Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. The timing is deliberate. The Navy schedules launch ceremony for Pearl Harbor anniversary, designating Bowfin as Pearl Harbor Avenger. Sponsor Gene Crosthwaite Walsh christens the ship as workers and Navy personnel observe moment of silence, honoring the 2,403 killed 1 year earlier. The symbolism is clear. Bowfin represents American industrial response to Pearl Harbor, transforming grief and anger into offensive capability. The submarine will conduct 9 war patrols between 1943 and 1945, operating in waters designated Devil's Sea, around Philippines and East China Sea. The patrols will sink 44 ships, totaling approximately 167,000 tons, placing Bowfin among top 20 American submarines by tonnage sunk. The combat record will include sinking cargo ships, tankers, patrol boats, and famously, a bus being transported on coastal ferry. The bus kill, while militarily insignificant, becomes legend among submarine crews and earns Bowfin distinctive painted bus silhouette on conning tower, alongside ship kills. The story of Bowfin is a story of American submarine warfare in Pacific, technological superiority, aggressive tactics, and systematic destruction of Japanese merchant fleet that strangled Japan's war economy. USS Bowfin belongs to Balao class, improved version of Gado-class fleet submarine. The design measures 311 feet 8 inches length, 27 feet 3 inches beam, and displaces 2,424 tons surfaced. 4 Fairbanks Morse diesel engines, generating 6,400 horsepower, drive electric motors powering 2 propeller shafts. Surface speed reaches 20.25 knots. Submerged speed on battery power reaches 8.75 knots. Operating depth is rated at 400 feet, with test depth of 612 feet. The wartime experience demonstrates boats can survive deeper. Crush depth, where hull implodes from water pressure, is estimated at approximately 900 feet, though no one volunteers to test this limit. The armament consists of 10 21-inch torpedo tubes, 6 forward and 4 aft, carrying total of 24 Mark 14 torpedoes. The Mark 14, troubled early in war by depth-keeping problems, magnetic exploder failures, and contact exploder defects, has been corrected by late 1942, when Bowfin commissions. The corrected torpedoes function reliably, detonating when striking target, rather than running beneath or bouncing off without exploding. The reliability transformation is critical for submarine effectiveness. Early war patrols are plagued by torpedo failures, where perfectly executed attacks produce no results. By 1943, when Bowfin begins operations, torpedoes work, and submarines can concentrate on tactics rather than compensating for weapon defects. The deck armament includes one 5-inch 25 caliber gun mounted forward of conning tower, one 40mm Bofors gun, and 2 20mm Oerlikon guns. The guns serve multiple purposes, including finishing damaged ships, engaging small craft, and anti-aircraft defense. Submarine doctrine emphasizes torpedo attacks, but guns prove valuable for targets too small to waste torpedoes on, or situations where surfaced action is preferable to submerged approach. The commissioning occurs on May 1, 1943, at Portsmouth. Commander Joseph Henry Willingham assumes command. Willingham, 33 years old, is Naval Academy graduate with submarine experience, including previous command of USS Tautog. His aggressive temperament and tactical skill will characterize Bowfin's combat record. The crew numbers 80 officers and enlisted men, crowded into submarine where personal space is minimal and privacy non-existent. The living conditions, while improved from earlier submarines, remain harsh by surface ship standards. Crew members share bunks in rotation called hot bunking. Showers are limited by freshwater capacity. Toilet facilities are inadequate for crew size, but submarine crews accept hardships, knowing they receive extra pay, better food than surface ships, and operate as elite force with significant autonomy. The first war patrol begins on August 16. Departing Pearl Harbor for patrol area in East China Sea. The transit requires approximately 2 weeks steaming westward across Pacific to assigned operating zone. The patrol areas are designated by grid coordinates and assigned by submarine command based on intelligence about Japanese shipping routes. Bowfin's assigned area covers approaches to Chinese ports, where Japanese convoys carry raw materials and military supplies supporting occupation forces. The first contact occurs on September 8th, when Bowfin intercepts Japanese convoy consisting of 4 cargo ships escorted by 2 destroyers. Willingham conducts approach submerged, maneuvering to position where torpedoes can be fired at multiple targets in sequence. At range of 1,000 yards, Bowfin fires 6 torpedoes, 3 at lead cargo ship and 3 at second ship. The first 3 torpedoes strike the lead ship, producing explosions that break the vessel in half. The ship sinks in less than 5 minutes. The second salvo damages the second cargo ship, which begins listing but remains afloat. The escort destroyers detect Bowfin's periscope and attack with depth charges. The depth charge attack is Bowfin's first experience with Japanese anti-submarine tactics. The destroyers drop approximately 20 depth charges over 30 minutes, attempting to bracket submarine's position. The explosions create tremendous noise and concussive force. Light bulbs shatter. Equipment breaks loose. Personnel are thrown against bulkheads. But the hull integrity holds. The depth charges detonate too shallow, approximately 200 feet above Bowfin, operating at 400 feet. The Japanese doctrine at this point in war calls for depth charges set to detonate at 200 feet, the assumed operating depth for submarines. American submarines routinely operate deeper, using superior depth-keeping capability to avoid damage. After the attack ceases, Bowfin surfaces under darkness, assesses damage as minor, and continues patrol. The second ship from convoy is found stopped and listing. Willingham surfaces Bowfin and finishes the damaged ship with deck gun fire. The 5-inch gun fires approximately 30 rounds, setting fires and creating additional damage. The ship capsizes and sinks. The first patrol continues through October, with additional contacts resulting in 2 more ships sunk. Bowfin returns to Pearl Harbor on October 7th, having sunk 4 ships, totaling approximately 15,000 tons. The patrol is judged successful, and Willingham receives Navy Cross for aggressive leadership. The second patrol, beginning November 16, 1943, operates in same East China Sea area. The patrol is notable for sinking 5 ships, including 2 tankers carrying petroleum products from Netherlands East Indies to Japan. The tanker kills are particularly valuable, as Japan's war effort depends critically on imported oil. Destroying tankers directly reduces fuel available for Japanese ships, aircraft, and ground forces. American submarine campaign against tankers achieves remarkable success rate, sinking approximately 70% of Japanese tanker tonnage by war's end. Bowfin's contribution, 2 tankers on second patrol, represents small fraction of total, but illustrates systematic approach to strangling Japanese oil supply. The third patrol, beginning March 12, 1944, includes the famous bus kill. On April 27th, Bowfin intercepts small coastal ferry operating near Canton, China. The ferry, approximately 100 tons displacement, carries cargo including military supplies and civilian passengers. Aboard the ferry is bus being transported to destination across water. Willingham evaluates target and determines ferry qualifies as legitimate military target due to military cargo. Rather than waste torpedo on small target, Willingham orders gun action. Bowfin surfaces and engages with 40mm and 20mm guns. The gunfire damages ferry, which begins sinking. As ferry settles, the bus, secured on deck, becomes prominently visible. Crew members photograph the sinking ferry with bus still aboard. The photographs circulate among submarine force, and the bus becomes symbol of Bowfin's willingness to attack any Japanese vessel, regardless of size. The bus silhouette, painted on Bowfin's conning tower, alongside ship silhouettes representing confirmed sinks, becomes distinctive marking. Submarine tradition records kills using painted silhouettes, cargo ships, tankers, warships, and, in Bowfin's case, a bus. The bus marking generates both humor and respect. The humor derives from absurdity of submarine claiming bus kill. The respect derives from recognizing that Bowfin attacks every target encountered without hesitation, The bus becomes more famous than many ship sinkings, illustrating how memorable details sometimes overshadow larger accomplishments. The 4th Patrol, beginning June 19, 1944, operates in Mindanao Sea during Battle of the Philippine Sea. Bowfin's mission includes photographic reconnaissance of beaches for planned Allied landings and interdicting Japanese reinforcements. The patrol sinks 4 ships and photographs invasion beaches, contributing intelligence for later operations. The combination of combat and reconnaissance missions reflects submarine versatility and value beyond pure commerce rating. The 5th Patrol, beginning August 19, 1944, operates during liberation of Philippines. Bowfin provides lifeguard duty for carrier aircraft strikes, rescuing downed pilots from water. The lifeguard mission positions submarines near carrier target areas where they can retrieve pilots who ditch or parachute after being shot down. The mission requires remaining on station in dangerous waters and responding quickly when aircraft go down. Bowfin rescues 2 pilots during this patrol, illustrating secondary mission submarines perform beyond attacking shipping. The 6th Patrol, beginning November 17, 1944, operates in the South China Sea as Japanese shipping routes contract due to Allied advances. The patrol sinks 3 ships, but increasingly finds fewer targets as Japanese merchant fleet dwindles. The decreasing target availability reflects success of American submarine campaign. By late 1944, Japanese merchant tonnage has decreased by approximately 75% from war's start. Submarines have sunk over 1,000 ships, totaling approximately 5 million tons. The systematic destruction of merchant fleet creates shortages affecting every aspect of Japanese war effort. The 7th, 8th, and 9th Patrols in early 1945 continue operations in shrinking Japanese-controlled waters. The patrols sink few ships as targets become scarce. The final patrol ends on July 2, 1945, with Bowfin returning to Guam. The submarine has completed 9 patrols, sunk 44 ships, survived multiple depth charge attacks, and operated across Pacific from East China Sea to Philippines without major damage. The record places Bowfin among most successful American submarines, though not at top. Submarines like USS Tang, USS Flasher, and USS Barb achieve higher tonnage totals. But Bowfin's consistent performance across 9 patrols demonstrates reliability and effectiveness that contribute significantly to submarine forces' overall success. The crew experiences on Bowfin reflect typical submarine warfare conditions. Patrols last approximately 60 days, consisting of transit to patrol area, operations in zone, and return to base. The operations involve searching for targets using periscope observation during day and radar detection at night. When targets are located, submarine maneuvers to attack position, fires torpedoes, then evades counterattack. Between contacts, crew maintains watch routines, conducts drills, maintains equipment, and endures tedium of endless ocean with no visible activity. The psychological stress comes from confinement, danger, and alternating boredom and terror. Submarine crews spend months in steel tubes surrounded by water, knowing that hull breach means death for everyone. Depth charge attacks create fear that cannot be openly acknowledged. The knowledge that Japanese depth charges can crush hull if they detonate close enough is suppressed, but never forgotten. The crew develops coping mechanisms, including dark humor, strict routine adherence, and confidence in captain and shipmates. The bond among submarine crews is intense, forged by shared danger and complete mutual dependence. Torpedo Man Second Class Robert Walsh describes depth charge attack during second patrol. We were at 350 feet when the charges began exploding above us. The first ones were loud, but not close. Then they got closer. The sound became deafening. The boat shook violently. We could hear debris hitting the hull. Everyone stopped moving. We just looked at each other. The captain remained calm, giving quiet orders to helmsmen. After maybe 30 minutes, the attacks stopped. We waited another hour before surfacing. When we came up, everything looked normal, but everyone was exhausted from fear. The technical challenges include maintaining complex machinery under difficult conditions. Diesel engines, electric motors, batteries, hydraulics, air compressors, distillers, refrigeration, and torpedoes all require constant maintenance. The submarine operates in corrosive salt environment with temperature and humidity extremes. Equipment failures are common and must be repaired at sea with limited spare parts. The engineering crew's competence determines whether submarine completes patrol or returns early with mechanical casualties. Bowfin's engineering department maintains high reliability, completing all 9 patrols without major mechanical failures, forcing early termination. The comparison to Japanese submarines illustrates different approaches to submarine warfare. Japanese submarines are designed primarily for fleet support, attacking enemy warships rather than merchant shipping. Japanese submarine doctrine emphasizes supporting surface fleet operations and attacking enemy carriers and battleships. Commerce raiding against merchant ships is considered secondary mission. The result is that Japanese submarines achieve relatively few merchant sinkings despite operating throughout Pacific. American submarines, conversely, prioritize merchant shipping and achieve devastating effectiveness, destroying Japanese commerce. The strategic impact of American submarine campaign, to which Bowfin contributes, is catastrophic for Japan. The island nation depends entirely on imports for oil, raw materials, and food. The merchant fleet, totaling approximately 6 million tons at war's start, must transport everything Japan needs to sustain war effort. American submarines sink approximately 5 million tons by war's end, reducing available shipping by 80%. The losses create shortages affecting military operations, industrial production, and civilian food supply. By 1945, Japan faces starvation and economic collapse, partly due to submarine interdiction of shipping. The human cost on Japanese merchant seamen is severe. Approximately 116,000 merchant mariners serve on Japanese ships during war. Approximately 60,000 are killed, representing 52% casualty rate. The deaths occur when ships are torpedoed, often with minimal warning and limited survival prospects. The merchant crews are not combatants in traditional sense, but are classified as military targets under naval warfare laws because they support war effort. The ethical dimension of attacking merchant shipping is debated both during and after war. But submarine commanders, including Willingham, execute missions without apparent moral conflict. The preservation of Bowfin after war reflects recognition of submarine forces' contribution to victory. Rather than scrapping, the Navy donates Bowfin to Pacific Fleet Submarine Memorial Association in 1979. The submarine is moored in Pearl Harbor, adjacent to USS Arizona Memorial, creating connection between Pearl Harbor attack and revenge achieved through submarine warfare. The location is symbolically appropriate. Bowfin, launched on Pearl Harbor anniversary as Avenger, rests near Arizona, symbol of attack that provoked war. The museum submarine allows public to tour interior and experience cramped conditions where crews lived and fought. Visitors navigate narrow passageways, see tiny bunks stacked 3 high, examine torpedo room where weapons were loaded and fired, and view control room where captain commanded attacks. The preserved Bowfin serves educational function, demonstrating both technological achievement and human courage required for submarine operations. The memorial aspect honors submarine force losses. 52 American submarines were lost during Pacific War, taking approximately 3,500 crew members to depths from which they never returned. The submarine service suffered highest casualty rate of any American military branch, approximately 22% of personnel killed. The Bowfin Memorial includes plaques listing lost submarines and crews, ensuring their sacrifice is remembered alongside celebrated successes. The technical artifacts preserved on Bowfin include torpedo fire control computer, radar equipment, periscopes, and communications gear. These systems, state-of-art in 1943, enabled American submarines to attack effectively at night and in conditions where Japanese submarines struggle. The American advantage in electronics, fire control, and radar contributed significantly to operational success and is preserved in working condition aboard museum ship. The legacy extends to modern submarine force. Current American submarines, nuclear-powered and carrying ballistic missiles or cruise missiles, trace lineage to World War II diesel boats like Bowfin. The traditions, terminology, and culture of submarine service evolved during World War II and continue in modern force. Officers and crew visiting Bowfin recognize continuity between their service and the service of crews who fought on similar boats 75 years earlier. The assessment of Bowfin's contribution requires acknowledging both achievements and context. Bowfin sank 44 ships, impressive individual record, contributing to overall submarine campaign success. But Bowfin was one of approximately 288 submarines operating in Pacific. The collective achievement, destroying Japanese merchant fleet and strangling war economy, resulted from sustained effort by entire submarine force rather than individual boats. Bowfin represents the force's effectiveness rather than being uniquely exceptional. The symbolic value as Pearl Harbor Avenger carries weight beyond tactical accomplishments. The submarine launched on attack anniversary represents American determination to exact revenge and demonstrates industrial capacity to build weapons faster than enemy can sink them. By December 1942, 1 year after Pearl Harbor, American shipyards were producing submarines, destroyers, carriers, and cargo ships at rates Japan could not approach. The submarine launched on Pearl Harbor anniversary symbolizes transformation from victim to aggressor, from defensive shock to offensive power. The famous buzzkill, while militarily trivial, serves symbolic purpose, illustrating thoroughness of submarine campaign. No Japanese vessel was too small to attack. The bus, absurd target for submarine, represents commitment to destroying everything supporting Japanese war effort, regardless of target size or type. The humor surrounding buzzkill should not obscure serious point. American submarines would sink anything Japanese afloat. The final accounting shows USS Bowfin completed 9 war patrols, sank 44 ships, totaling approximately 167,000 tons. Rescued 2 downed pilots, conducted reconnaissance missions, survived war without crippling damage, and earned Navy Unit Commendation plus 9 battle stars. The statistics place Bowfin solidly in middle tier of successful submarines. Not top performer like Tang or Flasher, but far above average and well above submarines that completed patrols without significant sinkings. The consistent performance across 9 patrols demonstrates reliability and effectiveness that contributed to cumulative impact of submarine campaign. The crew members dispersed after war to civilian lives, carrying memories of cramped quarters, depth charge attacks, successful torpedo shots, and camaraderie forged under stress. Most did not discuss experiences extensively, as submarine veterans typically remain quiet about service. The culture of silent service, protecting operational security during war, extended into peacetime reluctance to share experiences. But reunion associations formed, and veterans gathered periodically to remember shipmates and experiences. The bonds formed on submarine patrols lasted lifetimes. The comparison to surface warfare illustrates submarine warfare's distinct character. Surface naval battles involve visible enemies, immediate feedback on weapon effectiveness, and relatively brief, intense engagements. Submarine warfare involves unseen enemies detected by sound or radar, delayed feedback on whether torpedoes hit, and extended periods of stalking punctuated by brief, violent action. The psychological demands differ. Surface sailors face danger they can see and respond to directly. Submariners face invisible threats they cannot fight, only evade, while attacking enemies who often do not know submarine is present until torpedoes strike. The technological evolution from Bowfin to modern submarines is dramatic. Bowfin operated at 20 knots surfaced, 8 knots submerged, and needed to surface regularly to charge batteries and refresh air. Modern nuclear submarines operate at 30+ knots submerged, remain submerged for months, and carry weapons delivering nuclear warheads across continents. But fundamental principles remain constant: stealth, surprise, precision attack, and crew competence under pressure. The Bowfin crew would recognize modern submarines' purpose and methods, even if technology is unrecognizable. USS Bowfin represents American submarine warfare at its effective peak. Reliable boats, working torpedoes, aggressive commanders, well-trained crews, excellent intelligence support, and systematic campaign against enemy commerce. The combination produced results that crippled Japanese war economy and contributed decisively to victory. The Pearl Harbor Avenger designation, assigned at launch, proved prophetic. The submarine did avenge Pearl Harbor through relentless attacks on Japanese shipping that destroyed the merchant fleet and helped ensure Japan could not win war. It started on December 7, 1941. The revenge was methodical, comprehensive, and devastating. Bowfin's buskill, absurd footnote, somehow captures spirit. Nothing Japanese was safe. Nothing was too small to attack. And American submarines would pursue every target, regardless of tactical significance, because every Japanese ship sunk weakened enemy war effort incrementally toward inevitable defeat. The flat-top Avenger proved that American industrial might, combined with tactical aggression, could exact price for Pearl Harbor that Japan could not pay and survive.